Wisconsin ahead. We're constantly raising the bar for medical excellence and providing more ways to receive it, so you have it for all your health needs, big and small. Let's push ahead, and we'll make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
As I reflect on the 2025 performance of the James Imaging Systems team, I'm inspired by their power of action, reliable follow-through, and ability to consistently connect with our clients. So thank you for helping our clients grow, profit, and thrive. In addition, I'm humbled by the trust our clients place in the James Imaging Systems expertise to help them succeed, now and in the years to come. As your local business technology partner, I extend my appreciation and gratitude for your ongoing loyalty. Looking forward, I feel that as individuals and as a community, if we display the power of positive action and authentically strive to find common ground, then our local communities will be stronger and our family connections will be secure and enduring. To everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
When you give to St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee, you give hope to our neighbors in need. This Christmas season and throughout the year, we support anyone who needs a meal or help stocking their pantry. Your financial gift helps eliminate hunger and stop food insecurity. Please give much needed support to our Milwaukee neighbors. Learn more at svdpmilw.org.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus tells John the Baptist's followers that the blind see, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the poor have the good news proclaimed to them. This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grob. With his miracles, Jesus shows us that everyone, especially those pushed to the margins, are worthy of dignity and love. This Advent, experience love made real. Join us at Mass.
Now that the game is done, it's our time to check in.
Porter steps into a three, and he drains it. KPJ, you can get that sense. He wants to start trying to take this game over for his team.
Bucks Talk starts now.
111 to 105. The Raptors come into Fiserv Forum and hand the Bucks a loss on their home floor and have now won 8 of the last 13 in this building.
And now, live from Fiserv Forum, here's Justin Garcia.
Raptors are starting to win with great regularity in this building, but we're starting to say that for a handful of teams as Bucks continue to struggle without Giannis and now drop to 11-17 on the season with this loss tonight to the Raptors. 111 to 105. You've tuned into Bucks Talk. We'll take your thoughts on this one. We can dip into and take your reaction to what Giannis had to say today when he met with media earlier in the afternoon. First time since December 3rd that the media had a chance to ask Giannis some questions, and I'm sure there are going to be some takeaways on some of the decisions and strategy that was put out there in this game tonight. But 11-17 now on the season. You know, we mentioned where you are in the standings. I've said for the last couple games, you're getting to the point where you are much closer in the standings to those teams near the bottom of the conference than you are teams that are 6th, 7th in the East. Well, now you are a full game behind the Chicago Bulls, who as of this moment have the final spot in the play-in tournament. You're a full game back of them. And don't look now, but the Charlotte Hornets are nipping at your heels with a game in Charlotte that may determine who's where in the standings in less than a week. 855-616-1620, the Siding Unlimited talk and text line to join us tonight on Bucks Talk. And again, I do want to get to some of what we heard from Giannis earlier today and just the situation that's hanging over this team, too, as the other thing we've mentioned is it's there's going to come a time where you're going to have to make a decision, not about Giannis, about this season, and about what is the best course for this franchise. where you are in the standings. The other update that we heard from Giannis, not even pertaining to any trade chatter or personnel moves, his health, gave an update on that, which has a lot of significance about the next handful of games in the next couple of weeks for the Bucks and where they're going to be in the standings. So we'll get to all of that coming up momentarily. But again, the number to join us tonight is 855-616-1620. It's a frustrating loss. It's a tough loss, but we can dig into all the things that didn't go the way the Bucks. I thought, quite frankly, they played well enough to win comparative to what your opponent put out there. Your defense played good enough to keep you in the game and potentially win the game for you. You can point to the Bucks' turnovers. They forced more turnovers, or at least got more turnovers and scored off of those than Toronto did. It wasn't a massive difference, but again, what comes back to bite the Bucks is those true shooting attempts. The Raptors took 2 more true shots in this game than the Bucks did. In a game you lose by 2 possessions. That has been one of the bigger stories for the Bucks all season long. When you look at true shooting attempts and the difference in them, the Bucks are taking the second fewest in the league on a nightly basis. Only the Clippers are averaging fewer true shooting attempts per game. And the difference in what the Bucks are taking and what they're allowing the opponent to take is nearly 5. That is the second largest difference in the league behind only the Washington Wizards. The trend continued once again tonight in this loss to the Raptors. So we'll get into that. But a lot of what I anticipate to be the discussion tonight is the updates that we heard from Giannis Antetokounmpo, both in terms of his health and everything else he had to say. So we'll get to that and take your thoughts as well. 855-616-1620, the Signing Unlimited talk and text line to join us tonight on Bucks Talk. We already see Dick waiting on hold. We'll hear from him and the rest of you coming up after this on Bucks Talk.
This is Bucks Talk.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
A buck in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy 1, 2, or a set of 4. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South 27th Street and Griffin Ford Waukesha. The $1 deal at Griffin. Make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What's the secret to your success?
Clean living, hard work, and no employees.
You lost me on that last one.
No employees?
Yeah.
That's the secret sizzle that makes Hasselus Mattress so popular.
How are you successful without employees?
You can give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Nobody talking down to me or breathing down my neck?
And with no commission-crazed salespeople in the mix, our everyday mattress prices on Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more are way low.
How low?
Our Queen Beautyrest Elm Cove A is just $7.94.
Wow.
Plus free next day delivery. And through Monday, get a free box spring or $300 off an adjustable base with the purchase of any Queen or King size Beautyrest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress.
Since you're a mattress store, you could say Hasselus is an overnight success.
Good one.
Thanks.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Welcome back to Bucks Talk.
111-105, the final score tonight inside of Fiserv Forum. The Toronto Raptors take down the Bucks. score now 11-17 on the season. 855-616-1620, the Siding Unlimited talk and text line to join us tonight on Bucks Talk. Let's head to the phone lines and wait no longer to hear from our friend Dick in Port Washington. Dick, how's it going?
Well, you'll have to tell me after I'm done with this call because I got 2 points I want to make. The 23-minute, I don't know what you call it. I guess I would call it a crock of crap from Giannis today. And then I'd like to say where the team should go after this. So first part with Giannis. This thing's going worse than the Favre and Rodgers thing in Green Bay. I can't believe the Bucs didn't learn from that. Giannis thinks the fan base is stupid enough to believe that he does not know his agent. It's Alex something, isn't it?
Yep.
What's his agent's name?
Alex.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Alex. Happens to be in Milwaukee, talking to the Bucs, and he doesn't know about it. And he's a free citizen. He can go and talk to him. What in the heck is he talking to the Bucs about if it isn't about a trade? Giannis wants to get a better locker position in the locker room. This is nuts. How stupid does he think we are? My second point to this is right now what the Bucs need to do is to get on the phone with Atlanta, try to pick up those 2 draft picks, suck it up, take Trey back for a rental or whatever, try to get Johnson, include Bobby Portis in the trade, and get this done before they realize that Giannis is going to be a broken machine to any team that he goes to. This is nuts. He's not going to stay in Milwaukee, and if he does, I worry about his injuries. The famous muscle related to the Achilles injury, that's what he's got problems with again.
So
now
real
it's in
quick,
the other leg.
Yeah.
So that's 2 legs.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
go ahead.
I was going to say, you bring it up, but so that was, I think, the one thing of substance that we got from Giannis's session today was, I don't know if he fully confirmed, but soleus strain is what this is, and he provided it's going to be the same as when I missed the playoffs, and we're looking at 4 to 6 weeks instead of 2 to 4 weeks. We heard from Doc Rivers earlier in the week too that he hadn't done anything on the floor yet, and that he wasn't close. He wouldn't say he was close, and Doc said it at the initial time too when we were given 2 to 4 weeks. I would guess it's going to be closer to the 4 weeks. So the long and short of it is, I would venture to guess it's at least 3 more weeks that he's not going to play. So what are things going to look like 3 weeks from now?
A heck of a lot worse. And I thought he let slip too that I'm looking at 4 to 6 weeks yet. I mean, I guess I got to go back and listen to it. So my wife pointed out maybe that's total time, or is it 4 to 6 weeks from today?
Yeah, to be honest,
he wasn't clear about that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that either. I initially took it as 4 to 6 weeks was the time limit, not 2 to 4. But somebody else pointed out the same thing to me when we were talking about that. So, yeah, I think that's one of the bigger unanswered questions.
Yeah, because if we keep messing around with this, we're going to get squat back.
Well, look,
the Knicks are hoping it goes to the summer.
Well, here's the thing.
And we're going to get nothing from them.
Here's the thing.
Go on.
There is no trade with the Knicks in the season. I mean, there isn't a great trade with the Knicks to begin with. So
anytime.
Right. There's no assets in New York. Like, they used all those up to bring in Mikal Bridges and to bring in Karl Anthony Towns. They can't even trade a first-round pick this year until they see what happens with the Wizards. So there's no trade right now with the Knicks. For that reason, the fact that the Bucks would look at the package and say, we don't want that. Like, even if the Knicks say, okay, we'll give you, let's say, OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. Like, well, great. Those are win now players. That doesn't help us. That's not what we're looking to do. So there's nothing here that we want. Also, the Knicks are hard capped at the first apron. They can't bring in more money than they're sending out. They have no one on their roster that makes as much money as Giannis, so it would have to be a multiplayer trade, and there's just not a whole lot that makes sense. So there's no path to New York within the season. If this is 4 to 6 weeks from now, then you're butting up against, like, well, by the time he returns, February 5th is the trade deadline. Like, yeah, he'll be back, but maybe he's back for a week, 5 days before it's all of a sudden the trade deadline, and our team's just going to say, well, let's wait. I mean, look, I know he's a 2-time MVP and one of the 3 best players in the league right now, but that's still a big risk to take on, and you're also a team knowing, okay, well, we have to sign you to an extension in October, and that's going to be in the mid-60s and $70 million per year, which, again, is why, and I know fans push back on this, like, well, if this player went for X amount of picks and this one went for this amount, why wouldn't Giannis go for the same? No one is disputing that any of those players named are as good as Giannis, or disputing that Giannis is not better than those players. But there are a lot of variables in here. Number one, the landscape has changed with this CBA, and I think a lot of teams are looking at this and saying the way to win and the way to build your roster is what the Thunder did. Like, not, find those guys and those lottery picks, but find young guys that are good enough that can play in that system for you and that you have team control over for multiple years that are two-way players. It is not to go star hunting and form these super teams. And, I mean, the Bucks tried that with Giannis and Dame. The Suns tried that. The Brooklyn Nets tried it. All these teams, it doesn't work, right? So I do think there's going to be a handful of teams, especially teams that have a ton of assets, that just say, no thanks. Like, we're already winning at a high level. Let's just keep rolling the dice with this group and have a pretty cost-controllable team here that we can win with. And, you mentioned the other team that I think would make sense for everyone. You're not getting both. Like, even if Atlanta looks at you and says, we need Giannis to put us over the top, you're not getting those 2 picks and Jalen Johnson. It's one or the other, and the picks are what the Bucks need more than anything.
And they'll want us to take Trey.
Which, fine. Like, if you have to do that, it's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, and already you got OKC saying no, you got Houston saying no, and who was the third team? Was it San Antonio?
San Antonio, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, so I think we got to be proactive now. I don't see Giannis. He's getting closer and closer to a major injury that we're, like you said, we're going to be paying $270 million, whatever the amount is, and we're going to have him on the team. That's going to hurt us long term. He's still not going to win a championship because we won't have room for anybody else, And the Bucks have done everything possible. I just can't believe, this loyalty thing. I get it. He should be able to go where he wants, but does he want to hurt the Bucks bad enough that he's going to hold out on this? And Horse has got to be proactive now. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here heading backwards, to the Jennings years, Well,
what do you mean by what do you mean by does he want to hurt the Bucks and hold out on this?
Well, I think that I think the general feeling, and believe me, 99.5% of what you hear on the internet is made up. I'm so sick of opening articles. Well, this sounds like a new piece of information. It turns out Mark Stein from 2 weeks ago said something, and this guy just repeats it. But I think that hello.
Yeah.
I heard a beep. I thought I set off an alarm here. I think that he's banking on the Bucks being loyal to him and trading him to New York, and that we're going to take it in the shorts.
No,
okay,
I don't see any scenario with that.
You don't see that.
No.
Okay. I mean, I hope so. I mean, the Bucks have got to step up at some point. Thank God we got 4 billionaires running this team. We have the money into it. My gosh, if this stuff would happen like with the Brewers, we'd be dead. I mean, they have done everything. I think they're still trying to do something. I don't know how Zach LaVine's going to fit into this, and now he's injured. I think you got to be proactive, and I believe that the longer this goes, the less we're going to get. But who wants to take a guy if they haven't seen him play in a while?
I mean,
I just.
Yeah, I agree with that. The longer it goes, and I still don't think there's a trade that happens in season.
Well, what's going to happen after the season? You're going to get less.
I think
because then they're going to bank on Giannis saying, "I want to play in New York. I want to play in L.A. or whatever."
I don't think it's. I don't think it's that. I mean, I think if it comes to that, where there's a trade, number one, it has to be expressed, and that's the larger frustration that you had from the 24 minutes where we frankly didn't hear much of anything that we haven't heard, and none of it was concrete. It felt like 20 minutes of word salad.
Yes, it was. It was. Okay, but what? I mean, why does he think we're going to buy this? That his agent can go talk to the Bucks, and I'm staying clear of it. My mind is free. I'm committed. Okay, what are you committed to? What the heck is your agent talking to the Bucks about? What possibility is there? Asking them to get better players? We all know we want to get better players. He doesn't need to talk to them about that. There's no other reason he's talking to the Bucks, because he admitted basically that his agent is talking to the Bucks, and the only thing they can be talking about is expressing Giannis's desire to leave. I don't care. Yeah, he's right. Giannis is saying, "I'm not talking to the Bucks." Yep, I believe that. You're not, but your agent is. And then one thing in the middle of this conference too, he says, don't forget, the agent works for me.
Yeah.
I tell him what to do. Yeah. That's why he's talking to the Bucks, and you're not. I mean, how stupid does he think we are?
We also heard about distractions.
Sorry.
Yeah, distractions, and wanting to limit those when you could very easily eliminate.
This isn't going to do it.
Right.
Wait till you hear Stephen Smith tomorrow morning. That'll be that show is so full of garbage, anyways. He's really going to be on this. I'm sorry. Am I too strong once in a while? I guess maybe.
I mean, look, we know what we're in for too, in that it's not going away, right? The chatter, even if Giannis were to sign an extension, if there's no trade this summer, and Giannis signs an extension when he is eligible to do so, which also makes it complicated because it's not until October 1st that he can sign an extension. So even if you go through the summer and say, we're not trading you, we're building around this group, who knows what happens with this year, but the way things are trending right now seems like a pretty good expectation, or a pretty reasonable expectation to say, the Bucks are probably going to have a really good draft pick in the first round of this summer's draft. Even if you come at him and say, okay, last year we did Miles Turner, this year we're doing this. We got this guy with, let's just say it's the number 6 pick in the draft. And by all accounts, everyone is saying this is a loaded draft. This is one of the best drafts we've seen in X amount of years.
Yep.
So you get a guy that high in the draft that becomes a very, very good player for you, and you say, look, this is what's going to make us good in the short term and long term, right? You still don't have any type of guarantee that this doesn't continue to fester and pop up, because you got to wait all the way until October 1st for that extension to be signed.
The only thing about if he signs the extension, the kids or the teams that are in the penalty phase, if you will.
That takes him out of it.
They really, that'll take him way out of it.
If he signs the extension,
so then,
if you get him to sign an extension in October, I don't think he's traded because of the age and because of those contracts are going to be in the mid-60s and 70s. Yeah, and I know that the salary cap is going up, but again, that is a massive amount of your cap that team is trading for. And also this,
huge.
the team,
Huge.
any team that trades for him, you have players that are star level players, at least good players, that are not only going to be making that amount of money. This is the other thing that I've always kind of struggled with from his perspective. Where is the right fit? Right? Like, if it's not here, and if you determine it's not here, I don't think we can compete at this level, I would like to move on. Where is that right fit? Because it's easy
certainly not in the Western Conference.
Well, I mean,
he'd be going out there to.
I think there's a couple
OKC,
West teams.
Houston and San Antonio. That's going to be the NBA of the future.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe it's one of those teams, but I'll tell you what team it's not. It's not the team that just played for the NBA Cup championship, because all of these guys, and Giannis is not excluded from this, Giannis has an ego too. And Giannis saw what happened with the Damian Lillard trade. Damian Lillard joined his team. If Giannis gets traded to, for example, there's nothing of substance to this. We're just doing this for an example. Let's say there's a deal that sends him to San Antonio. He's joining Victor Wembanyama's team. Knowing what we know about Giannis, I don't think he's in a rush to sign up for that. He's not going to be the 1B to the 1A or vice versa. Like, he's going where he's the star that puts them over the top. And to your point there, I don't know what team that is.
Yeah. Okay. And he won't. And the next team he goes to, he won't be able to bring a yellow legal pad to the sidelines in the middle of the game, dry out the play, and go up to our coach, Doc Rivers, and say, "I think we should run this." And we saw that several times last year, right? I mean, that's where the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers analogy comes in, I think, beautifully.
I don't know.
Let me
about
just ask: is there any other team? Well, I've seen enough of this stuff where he's okay.
Oh, I'm saying.
Is there any other
know.
team?
What I'm saying really quick is I don't know that he won't be able to do that at the next team if there is a next team.
Yeah. Well, Wemby won't listen to it. He knows that he's going to be the face of the NBA. Besides Atlanta, what other team is hopeful for us as fans that we could make something by trading him? Is there another one?
Well, I mean, look, the hopeful teams.
Maybe you're not allowed to say, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's already we're already going down a tricky path here. But, I mean, the hopeful teams are that's the problem, are the ones that we have allegedly heard say they are out because of the draft picks and at least young, relatively cheap, controllable talent that they have, that you would say, okay, we're not getting a superstar back, but we're getting back plug-and-play pieces that are going to help us now, and we're getting assets as well, and pieces that, either help you now and this turnaround is quicker than you anticipated, or they're players that you could spin again in a year or so, kind of similar to what Oklahoma City and other teams have done, where it's, okay, this is how we're going to kick the can down the road and just wait until the moment when all of these guys are ready to go, that we have turned this player into these two picks, and so on and so on.
Yeah. Well, one other thing here, and I'll let you go because hopefully other people are calling in too, but, it's with the talk about expansion. I'm thinking today, okay, if he stays and we sign the max contract with him, when the expansion draft takes place, you expose them. And then maybe at that point, if it's not working out, you pray like heck that Seattle or Las Vegas takes them. But that's just a little sidelight. I thought about that today. That's kind of sad, I guess, in a way. But you may have to deal with that because you can't tie up all that money. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess.
Dick, always good.
I have 7. Yeah.
Always, okay. Always good to hear from you. There is one thing that you brought up. I do want to get to. I have one theory on the approach that we've seen and what this could possibly mean. So we'll get into that. But plenty of time yet to hear from you as well. 855-616-1620. The Siding Unlimited talk and text line. More after this on Bucks Talk.
You're listening to Bucks Talk.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
We work on hydronic heating, inside and out. A whole home radiating hydronic system to heat the inside of your home and your floors, or under your driveway, porch, or patio to do a snow melt, could be one of the best investments you'll ever make. Call Quality for whole home radiating hydronic heating ideas that turn freezy cats into happy campers.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
If someone you love needs extra support due to memory loss, you're not alone, and you don't have to go far to find the right care. At St. Camillus, the memory care team provides compassionate, personalized support in a secure and welcoming environment with engaging programming, exercise classes, happy hours, and baking demonstrations, creating a place your loved one can truly call home. St. Camillus is conveniently located in Wauwatosa, across from the Milwaukee County Zoo. Learn more at stcam.com. St. Camillus, where care, comfort, and community come together.
The Roundball Repartee returns. This is Bucks Talk.
1:11-105 final tonight inside of Fiserv Forum. The Toronto Raptors take down the Bucks, who are now 11-17 on the season. So that's the other thing. This month, you know, we said coming in, December's going to give you your answer. December's going to determine a lot about this team and where it goes from here. The thought was you're going to be healthy. You're getting Giannis back. Put November, which was a disaster, put November behind you and just play better. Then Giannis goes down again, and you just continue to experience the same issues that you have throughout this month, and you've dug yourself an even deeper hole. If you go 1-4 on this road trip, which at this point we can't say that's not possible with the way that the team has played this season, and again, knowing full well, we haven't officially been told, but based on what he said today, Giannis is not playing in any of these games on this trip, and probably for a week or two after that trip. If you go 1-4, you're 12-21. As it stands right now, you're only a game and a half up on the Charlotte Hornets, a game in the loss column that you are in front of Charlotte. Like, all of a sudden, depending on how you view it, that game is huge on this road trip, your final game of the trip. If you drop that game, you will have dropped 2 to the Hornets already this season. And that will probably be enough for them to leapfrog you in the standings. And then we're all of a sudden talking about a team that may have the 3rd worst record in the conference. That's the point it could reach, where we're talking about the bottom 3 in the East as the Wizards, the Nets, and the Bucks, and they're not separated by all that much before Giannis comes back. And at that point, you know, I've said this before, but at that point the die may be cast when you look at, okay, what can we realistically expect? Maybe we go on a run, But if we're looking at, a scenario where, as it sits right now at 11-17, you are a full game behind the 10-seed Chicago Bulls. Your 17 losses are 6 more than any team that is not in the play-in tournament. It's still early, but we're a third of the way through the season. By the time we get to mid-January, we're basically halfway through the season. 6 games, 7 games, as it starts to grow, that becomes increasingly difficult to make up. That depending on what happens on this road trip, and frankly, depending on what happens between now and whenever it is that Giannis steps on the floor again, it may frankly be too much. Where you look at it and you say, realistically, where can we get? If we go on a run, we get him back, we start to play much better, we magically fix everything that has been dooming us throughout the season, we get up to 9th. We can maybe get up to 8th, where we have 2 cracks to make it into the playoffs. And then you get to play the Pistons in the first round, or the New York Knicks in the first round of the playoffs. You have gone basically a decade without adding young, top-tier talent to the roster because of trades and because of success that you've had in where this team has been drafting. And this is the one chance, depending on what happens with Giannis, let's take that out of it because as of this moment, we can't control that. But you have a first-round pick this summer. The Portland Trailblazers own your draft basically after that. You have a pick that goes to the Pelicans next summer, and then you're done with the Drew Holiday trade. But then, okay, this is done. Now we have to pay off the other credit card. And now here's the Portland Trailblazers and the Damian Lillard trade. So you have this brief window right now where you're going to get a pick because this is a pick swap, and that other team is equally bad. I mean, there is a chance. And as, again, you sit here now, there's a pretty good chance that the worst of those 2 picks in the pick swap could end up being the 5th pick in this summer's draft. So you may have to look at it realistically and say, look, we don't know when we're going to get this chance again. If there's no trade and you want to finish out your career here, fine. Because I think, honestly, that's the other thing we didn't address. We talk about loyalty and what is owed to Giannis. Well, the same can be said, like, if Giannis, and this comes back to the one theory that I have, if Giannis has made it clear, like, okay, I do want to be here. This is where I want to finish my career. Let's do whatever we can to figure out how to make it work. I do think you owe it to him to say, fine, we'll do it then. But we're going to have to do some of this our way. And one of those things is going to be, here's where we are in the standings. It is not in our best interest for you to play more than 20 more games this season. We're going to shut you down at some point in early March, somewhere around there, and we just need to continue to increase our chances of getting a really good draft pick this summer because that is a top-line talent we can add to the mix. We feel like we got enough of these guys that are rotational pieces that are nice players and role players, and guys that may ultimately develop beyond that, right? But we need to add blue-chip elite talent to this roster and young talent at that, and a way to do it is this summer in the draft. So I do think we're not there yet. No team shuts it down in December. Philly last year was January. Every team is January, February when you make that decision of, okay, here's where we are in the standings. It's usually related to pick protections. That's what it was with Philly last year. Nobody does it December. So we're not quite there yet, but it's starting to circle the drain right now with that discussion. The one takeaway that I had from the 24 minutes we heard from Giannis, and the one soft theory I'm willing to launch that I have, we'll get into what that is coming up after this.
The Hardwood Homilies continue after this. This is Bucks Talk.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
Looking to earn your Wisconsin concealed carry license? Mission 94 Firearms Education Center has you covered. Choose from classroom-only sessions, live fire options, or women-only classes taught by female instructors, designed to build confidence and safety. Learn the right way with a team that puts education first. Find your perfect class today at mission94firearms.com. Click on the training tab or just Google Mission 94.
This is Bucks Talk.
So we heard Giannis today for 24 minutes. I mentioned word salad. It felt like a lot of word salad, frankly, and a lot of what we've continued to hear. The notable piece to come from there was him saying this is a soleus strain and a 4 to 6 week issue that we're looking at, similar to 2 springs ago when he went down against the Celtics with the same thing, other leg. I don't know. I texted one of the other Bucks reporters. Did we get clarification on whether or not it's 4 to 6 weeks from now or 4 to 6 week timeline and not 2 to 4 weeks? And we're both uncertain on that. But here's my takeaway. What we heard today and what we have frankly heard for the last couple of weeks, I take as this. I think there was probably within his camp a growing sense that, look at the roster, look at the standings, I should say, 11-17. We could talk ourselves into the Eastern Conference is open and it's up for business here, but you're 11-17, and even if you go on some type of tear, are you still likely a play-in team? And what does that mean for your chances to make the playoffs, but then also get out of the first round for the first time in what feels like forever? I'm sure there's a growing sentiment from his camp, maybe growing by the minute, and it's been doing that for the last couple of years possibly, that, hey, I think it's run its course, and we think you should start to look elsewhere. You should start to look at this and push yourself here. We think there is a championship to be won here, that you can compete with this team or this team. And I frankly think Giannis doesn't know. It's a big change, and it's, as any of us who have dealt with that type of change, probably view this as that. I don't know. Yeah, I could see the pros and cons list that, okay, maybe it's not going to happen again here. Maybe I'm not going to compete at that level here. But again, I just witnessed for 2 years us thinking we were going to be at that level by adding a piece kind of like me. And again, the parallels that are starting to take place here with Damian Lillard's last couple of years in Portland and how things are on the trajectory right now of Giannis in Milwaukee. I just viewed that, and that didn't work. We didn't win with that. I'm still beloved because I'm the lifelong Buck, and I'm the franchise hero. I wasn't the new guy that came in and had heightened expectations that Dame was going to help lead us to the promised land. I still have some loyalty, a great deal of it, to this franchise, even if some of the faces that really shaped that in the early going are not here anymore, even if the teammates are gone, like Chris Middleton and Brooke Lopez and Drew Holiday and all these guys, Pat Connaughton. I got Bobby and I got two of my brothers here, but a lot of those faces are gone, but I'm still loyal to this group. I got it pretty good here, right? Like, there's a lot of reasons for me to want to stay. But I feel this tug coming from the other direction of, all right, I know what's being presented to me on that side. I'm still not sure. And that's how I read all of this, is I think certainly his camp and his side may be sure and pushing for, look, we think this is what needs to be done. But I think he's at the point where I don't know. And maybe he waffles back and forth. Maybe one day he feels one way. Maybe the next day he doesn't. But I think there's just a lot of uncertainty. And with that, you get a lot of word salad and a lot of, well, I'm not going to commit to one thing. I'm not going to paint myself into a corner here because who knows? Maybe I'll feel differently tomorrow. It certainly feels like that's what we're seeing here. That one side wants one thing, another side isn't sure. And then the third side in the Bucks, they want Giannis to remain here. Like I've talked about it before. The Bucks, I'm not speaking out of school here. The Bucks are never going to proactively trade Giannis. He is the greatest player in franchise history. You know, like you can make the argument, and I've seen it before, like Kareem's a better player than Giannis. Like, fine. Their time in Milwaukee, Giannis is far and away the most impactful player in franchise history. He is the greatest Milwaukee Buck ever. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at this point has had a greater career. But Giannis is the greatest player in franchise history. There's that. There's the fact that he is a cash cow. He keeps you relevant. You have international viewership and sales and interest in your team. You have basically become Greece's adopted NBA team. You get tourism dollars from people that want to come to Milwaukee, stay in the city, come to Fiserv Forum so they can see Giannis. You get money from jersey sales. Up until the last 2 years, you were featured on Christmas Day and in marquee games. That's all because, not all of it, most of it in most of those areas, that's largely because of Giannis. They are not going to walk away from that. And especially for those of us old enough to remember. Look, I know it's not that long ago, but you go back even further. I'm in my 40s. I grew up with the era of Bucks that was after the era that was really good but not good enough. The 90s Bucks and late 80s, but 90s Bucks. And then you had that blip in 2001 where you're in the conference finals and you felt like you were building to something, and it ended the next year. And then you had the 2011 team and the Fear of the Deer team, but then it ended, and it was just mediocrity, and you were basketball Siberia. And I think there's still that acknowledgement of we have this thing that's so important that keeps us relevant, and we remember what it used to be like. We don't want to go back to that. So there's not going to be this rush to proactively trade him. He's going to have to want it. And it's not just his camp. It's not just his agent. It's going to have to come from him. And I think that's why we're in this dance right now, because the organization knows, look, we will do right by you to an extent. If this is what we come to, then this is what we're going to do. But we are not going to proactively trade you, and we're not going to go based off of, well, we think your camp wants this deal, so let's start looking into this. You're going to need to tell us that you want to move on, and then we can explore it. And until any of that happens, I think, unfortunately, it's just going to be more of the same. And we're going to be left with these same type of deals where we'll hear from him every so often, and it's going to be more of the same type of commentary There's going to be more reporting that drives everyone nuts that we're going to pick apart and say, well, this isn't actually accurate and this didn't happen then. And it's just going to be a never-ending cycle. And as we said, it's not going away over the summer either. Like, this is the discourse that is probably going to be attached to him and the franchise from here on out. It's going to be an annual tradition. And Dick brought it up. Others have mentioned it too. But I think that's the grating part, and that's what has been most frustrating for Bucs fans is, the Venn diagram that you look at when you say, okay, if you're a Bucs fan, chances are you support all other Wisconsin sports teams, and you're a Packers fan. You're a Brewers fan. You sat through the Aaron Rodgers divorce. You sat through the Brett Favre divorce, and that was something, after the Brett Favre one, I never want to see this again. Guess what? You get it again, 12 years later, 13, whatever it was years later, and now all of a sudden, not even that far down the road, like, we're really doing this again. I think that's the part that has worn on people, is that's what it feels like. 5-game road trip coming up now for this team. And as we mentioned, it's going to be important because of where you currently sit in the standings. So we'll preview those 5 games and wrap things up after this on Bucs Talk.
This is Bucs Talk. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes, allergies, cancer. Nothing will keep the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network from pushing Wisconsin ahead. We're constantly raising the bar for medical excellence and providing more ways to receive it, so you have it for all your health needs, big and small. Let's push ahead, and we'll make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
As I reflect on the 2025 performance of the James Imaging Systems team, I'm inspired by their power of action, reliable follow-through, and ability to consistently connect with our clients. So thank you for helping our clients grow, profit, and thrive. In addition, I'm humbled by the trust our clients place in the James Imaging Systems expertise to help them succeed, now and in the years to come. As your local business technology partner, I extend my appreciation and gratitude for your ongoing loyalty. Looking forward, I feel that as individuals and as a community, if we display the power of positive action and authentically strive to find common ground, then our local communities will be stronger and our family connections will be secure and enduring. To everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Picture this, you're on a date, and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual-action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Z-E-L-M-I-N-S, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit Pfizerforall.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome back to Bucs Talk.
111-105, our final score tonight. The Toronto Raptors come to Milwaukee and beat the Bucs, something they have done with great regularity now for the past couple of seasons. They've now taken 2 of 3 of the matchups against the Bucs this season, and it sends the Bucs 6 games below 500 and now into 5 straight games on the road, which, frankly, it's not the most daunting schedule that the Bucs have. But when you don't have Giannis, everything is especially challenging for this group. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves to start the road trip on Sunday night. And that's a Timberwolves team that, has kind of played with their food a little bit. They've been a 500 team in their last handful of games. They did recently go on a 5-game win streak, but have gone 2-2 since then. They lost 3 in a row prior to that win streak. That's kind of how things have gone so far for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're still in a much better spot than the Bucks, though, at 17-10. They do play tomorrow night, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is a home game, so the Bucks will have the rest advantage in this game. But from there, you go to Indianapolis to take on the Pacers on December 23rd. And look, it was a charged atmosphere that the Bucks walked into the first time Miles Turner made his return to Indy. It took a Giannis game winner for you to leave there with a win, and you're not going to have that possibility in this game on Game 2 of the road trip. You got the Memphis Grizzlies the day after Christmas. And this is a Memphis Grizzlies team that started the season 4-11. They're 13-14 now. They've gone 9-3 in their last 12 games, and right now they're winning without Zach Edey, who was really their barometer for success earlier in the season. So they're finding ways to win now. They're starting to play much, much better basketball. And then you got the Bulls and the Charlotte Hornets, and those are going to be 2 very big games for this Bucks team because, number one, the goal as of right now is to compete and to win and get into the playoffs. You're going to have to beat the Bulls. That's the team in front of you right now. You're going to have to beat the Charlotte Hornets. It's a team that's already beaten you this year, and they're only a game back of you in the loss column. So a disastrous road trip would really start to force you down a path that kind of forces your hand on what this season is becoming, because the Hornets aren't that far behind you. The Brooklyn Nets, who beat you by 45 points on Sunday, are not that far behind you. The Indiana Pacers are not that far behind you. And from now until the first week of January, your next 6 games, 3 of them are against the Hornets, Pacers, and Wizards. All teams beneath you in the standings in the East. So you should look at that and say these are non-negotiables. The struggles that we're going through, we've got to beat these teams, right? If you do that, you start to lay a foundation. If you don't, that's where things get really murky really quickly. Sunday night, Bucks in Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. That is a 6 o'clock tip-off. 5:30 is when our pregame coverage begins. And as always, be sure to stick around after the game for Bucks Talk. We have a very lively chat popping off right now on the live stream on YouTube. So shouts to everybody joining us tonight on YouTube. There will be better days for this team, but granted, they're not going to get to the level you need until Giannis is back on the floor. We are all aware of that, but these past few weeks have made that crystal clear. Bucks and the Timberwolves on Sunday. We will talk to you once again Sunday night.
Handpicked and trained with a lot of heart. Quality techs work on all residential heating equipment. Ductless, hydronic, electric, or forced air. Advancements occur. All our techs are trained in and out of house to stay current with modern technology. Call Quality. Our techs will be well versed in what's new to make sure your new heating system is as advanced as you want it to be.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Furnace on the fritz? Hopefully it doesn't happen. But if it does, call Quality for 24/7 fast emergency service. Because we have a huge service crew dedicated to servicing equipment first and replacing equipment only when necessary. We know older equipment, along with the newest in heating technology, and we won't be there to sell you something you don't need because we don't know how to work on it.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select STIHL tools. Shop online or in-store at STIHLUSA.com. That's STIHLUSA.com.
Test, they said, can we tell him? And I thought, I was uncomfortable. I didn't want him to feel like beholden to me for anything. But I said, sure. And he has been nothing but gracious. But the amazing part of all of it was I didn't know he was attending my church. Like, it's just so crazy. His daughter worked at my husband's school. Like, the way our lives kind of intertwined, it was just very, very strange. I didn't know him before this. But I get to watch his journey. He did get his kidney 6 months after I donated mine to someone. I don't know who got that, but and I get to see him, living his